What up, what up, what up? I am back once again with another movie review, man. You already know what this movie review is going to be about if you haven't read the title already. That's right, this one is going to be for Transformers Rise of the Beast. Saw it not too long ago. I'm here to give my thoughts. Now, when this movie, when the trailer first dropped for this movie way back in December, I was quite surprised because I did not know that they were making a new Transformers film. So it kind of caught me by surprise when I saw the trailer on YouTube back 6 months ago. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, you know, this movie looks quite decent. You know, this movie is actually intriguing me. I want to see this. And that's saying a lot because, you know, I kind of grew tired of the Transformers franchise, man, because I just felt like, especially with the Michael Bay films, it wasn't good, man. It was just getting worse and worse. And especially with Bumblebee, which was the last live-action Transformers film before this one, Bumblebee, it just kind of left a sour taste in my mouth to where, yeah, there were some things I did like about it, but there were a lot of other things I didn't really care for about that movie. So my thoughts on the actual Bumblebee movie is really mixed. And actually, I do have that movie review on my channel. It was one of my older reviews, so you have to go way back in the archives to watch that review. But yeah, man, with Bumblebee, I was just like, after Bumblebee, I was just kind of checked out of Transformers, man. I didn't really care for a Transformers film anymore. Like, I didn't, like, if they made another one, whatever. But they made this one, and I saw the trailer, I was just like, this looks actually good. I actually want to see it. And, you know, fast forward to now, I am happy to say that this movie is freaking good, man. It is a solid movie. I'm a little bit surprised, man, because I didn't think that this movie was going to be as good as what it actually is, and it turned out to be that. This film delivers, man, and I think it gets better, you know, towards the end. Like, when I was watching it, like, I was like, okay, this movie is decent. I'm liking this, but you know, it's just fine. You know what I mean? It's not anything. But towards the end, like the last act of the movie, I was just like, oh man, yeah, this is dope. This is a solid Transformers film. And by the end, I was just like, yeah. So yeah, my overall thoughts on this movie is very solid. It's done really well. One of the things that I love the most about this movie is the human characters. And that's saying a lot because that was one of my main gripes with these Transformers movies is the human element, because I always feel that the humans in these Transformers films are never done right. They are a big distraction. A lot of the subplots in the prior Transformers movies based around the humans are pretty much unnecessary, is pretty much a big waste of time, and it makes the film come to a screeching halt. But with this film, the characters here, like the main human characters here, actually serve a role, and they actually serve a purpose in the story, and they're actually needed because there are certain things that, you know, the Transformers needs in order for the plot to go along, but the Transformers can't get to those certain points without the humans, you know? So they actually serve a big role in this movie and in the overall story. And the human characters are written very well in this, and they're actually implemented very, very well. And, you know, the backstory with the main character, Noah Diaz, I think is really solid, really well done with him and his brother, and, you know, trying to, you know, get treatment for his brother and stuff like that. And, you know, just struggling, trying to find a job, trying to get money so that he could keep up with the payments so that, you know, his brother could, you know, kind of maintain his sickle cell disease and stuff like that. So that whole element with him and his brother and the whole backstory, and it's just so well done. And I can't speak highly enough of those two main characters. I think actually out of all the characters in this movie, including the Transformers, this is saying a lot, but I think that the two main leads are probably two of my favorite characters in the whole entire movie. And like I said, that's saying a lot because the human characters in Transformers movies are pretty much shit. But in this movie, they're handled so well to where it's just like, I actually care about these characters. I actually want to know more about them, and I don't mind like the human scenes between these characters without the Transformers. Like, I don't mind like this right here. Even some of the side characters, which is not really much, but some of the side characters that show up, I'm like, yo, that character's dope. One of the characters in this movie who plays Noah Diaz's like friend, I guess, yeah, he plays pretty much like his friend in the movie. He's actually a rapper in real life. I forgot his name. I think his name is like Toby Nigwe, something like that. He's a rapper. I'm not really too familiar with his music, but like his character, I wish that they would have gave him more scenes, because I think his character was good, man. He was a funny character, and I really liked his character a lot, but he wasn't in a lot of the scenes. So even with him, and even with the brother and and the mom and stuff like that, even though she wasn't in, a lot of the scenes in this movie, but even with her character, I felt like her character was done really well. Yeah, man, the human characters in this movie is done pretty well, and I'm quite surprised. The Transformers, man, what can I say about them? They're iconic characters. Optimus Prime is Optimus Prime. He's dope. Bumblebee, you already know. Like, the Transformers, like, I love, man, in this movie. Especially Optimus Prime, voiced by, I think his name is Peter Cullen, which is the original voice of Optimus Prime. He is the voice for Optimus Prime in this film, and of course, he knocks it out the park. He never misses. He is the OG when it comes to Optimus Prime, so, man, yeah, Optimus Prime is in full effect. I did like Optimus Primal, which is the Gorilla Beast, and the little the Hawk and the Cheetah, and all the Transformers were dope. Even the villains, man, the villains were like very menacing, like especially in the beginning scene with Scourge, who plays like the main villain. He actually serves as a servant to Unicron, which is like the big entity that has to consume planets. Scourge, he is like the servant to Unicron, but Scourge is actually the main villain, like hunting down the Autobots, trying to get the key to open up the portal and stuff like that. And like when he first pops up on the scene, like that very first scene of him in like the forest, just like way in the background, was just so menacing. I'm like, yo, this character is freaking sick, man. He, like, when he first popped up on the scene, like, yeah, he actually looks very, very menacing. And he had like a scary presence to him. Like, just his like introduction in this film was very scary, very menacing, and I really like that a lot. The action was done really well, man. I just feel like this movie, there's really no down points in this movie. There's really no scenes to where it's like, it's taking you out the movie to where it's like, why are we focused on this? Get back to the main plot of the movie. It's none of that. Every scene in here serves a purpose. Like, the pacing is done right, man. The main story is pretty much the same shit that we've gotten with all the other Transformers films. But with this movie, like I said, it doesn't deviate from that. It doesn't like go to this next scene to where you have to focus on this human family doing goofy shit like what you see in the Michael Bay films in the past. It's none of that here. So it just feels like it's action-packed. Like, it just feels like it's just one big action scene. Action always going on, something always going on. And that's what I like about it the most, just the pacing of it all. And each scene is not a waste. It's not wasted scenes in this movie. Every scene is important. So yeah, man, that's pretty much my overall thoughts on this film. It's just a solid film. And by the end of it, I was just like, yo, like, this movie is dope. And like I said before, while I was watching this movie from like the beginning to the middle, I'm like, yeah, this is decent. But I think it really hit home for me towards the end. Like that last act, that last battle scene, it really hit home for me towards the end. And it kind of like, it made the film a lot better for me, where I'm just like, okay, it went from me like saying, okay, this is a decent film, to me actually, downright loving this film. That's where I was at by the end of the film. So I'm very glad that I did watch this movie, and they actually set up something that was actually like, I don't know if it's going to happen. It looks like it's going to happen in the future. I don't know when, but I'm not going to spoil it here. But when you see that last scene and what they set up, I was just like, holy shit. I was like, yo, if they do this, I am down 10,000%. Like, this is fucking dope. I don't want to spoil it, man, but I don't even want to give a clue, because I feel like I'll be giving away too much. You just have to watch the movie to see what I'm talking about. But overall, like I said before, I'm kind of like a broken record at this point, but I can't praise this movie enough. Transformers is freaking dope. But one of the things, and I have to say this before I wrap this video up, I still want to see another Transformers film that's just focused on the Transformers, like the Autobots, Decepticons on Cybertron, and like the whole war on Cybertron and the politics on Cybertron and stuff like that, like the civilization of the Autobots and the Decepticons and how they live, and just showing off that whole universe. I feel like the main problem that I have with the Transformers franchise is them not expanding it more. It's always focused on Earth. Everything is on Earth. They have to get this key, or they have to get this cube that opens up this portal so that Optimus Prime and his Autobot family could go back to Cybertron. It's the same shit over and over and over again. And it's included with this movie. The main plot of this movie is there's a key that the Autobots have to get in order for them to open a portal so that they could go back home, and they have to prevent the bad guy, the big villain, from getting the key, because if the villain gets the key, he has the keys to consume the whole entire planet. That's pretty much what this movie is about in a nutshell. And it's the same shit we saw in the Michael Bay films. It's the same shit that is kind of like the same shit we saw in Bumblebee. It's the same beats and notes all over again, man. But the difference is, with this movie, it is handled so much better. And I feel like if they didn't handle it the way that they handled it, I would be ranting and raving about how terrible this movie is. But because it was done so solid, it was done very, very well, that's what made the movie better. That's what put this movie over the edge for me. That's what put this movie over the top for me, was having great characters, was having, strong chemistry between characters. That's what made the movie for me. And the action, of course. The action was much better. But like I said, if it wasn't for that, like the characters being a lot more stronger and more well-written, if it was just like this basic Transformers story plotline that we get in all the other Transformers movies, and we've gotten like crappy characters that you don't care about, scenes that you don't care about, I would be shitting on this movie all day. But I can't, because it's a solid movie. It's a well-done movie. But with Transformers, man, it just boggles my mind, because it's like you have this entity, you have this alien type entity, and they have their own world. They have their own universe that you could explore and expand, and you could do so many things with it. But every single time when we focus on a Transformers film, or we watch a Transformers movie, is always about, Optimus Prime is in the shadows in this, garage or something, and all the other Autobots are scattered across Earth, and you have this cube, or you have this key that's somewhere hidden on Earth, and the villains from this other alien planet comes down, and they're on the same mission to get this key, because this key opens up a port. It's the same nonsense, man. I'm just like, yo, can we get something different? Can we get a movie based on the alien planet? Can we get a movie based on Cybertron? Cut out the human characters, cut out the human element. Can we get something more complex? And we saw this with Bumblebee. They actually showed us this in Bumblebee. The first 5 minutes in Bumblebee was probably the best shit in that whole entire movie. And I was like, yo, this is dope. This is what we want as Transformers fans. This is what we want. A Cybertron movie focused on the war on Cybertron. This is what we want. But I don't know, for some reason, it's like they gotta have human characters in these Transformers movies. And they gotta have the same plot point. Oh, we gotta find the Allspark. Oh, we gotta find this key. And if we find this key, it opens up a portal. And if the portal opens up, and if the villain open up, it's the same nonsense, man. And I'm almost tired of it. And I know I'm kind of ending the review on a kind of a sour note, but I had to rant about this, because it's the Transformers, the Transformers franchise has so much potential to expand and grow into something epic. Okay, yeah, you could give us, the plot line on Earth, and the Earth, being at stake because you have this big entity that want to consume the planet, and you have to find this. You could do that, but have another movie that's connected to that, but it's focused on another planet, and we're just focused on the Autobots and the Decepticons and the politics on cyber. That's what I'm still dying to see from this franchise, but we have never gotten it. Never. And it boggles my mind. Because, like, how dope would that be? Maybe it's because of, like, special effects and stuff like that. Maybe they think it would be too I don't know, man. But they always, like, every time they give us Transformers movies, they always focus on the human element. So, I know I kind of ended the review there on a sour note, but I just wanted to add that in there, man, because, like, Transformers, it has so much potential to expand and, like, tell other stories, man, and do something different. But it's always about Earth, and the Earth, you know, being at stake from being consumed by this big entity. And Optimus Prime and his Autobots have to, you know, come together to get this device to save the day. Like, it's the same nonsense, man. Optimus Prime don't trust humans. Oh, we haven't seen that before. Like, it's the same thing. So, like I said, man, I'm sorry I ended this one on a sour note, but I had to get that off my chest, man. But until my next one, man, I'm going to end this review right now. Till my next one, I'm out.